Hello everybody, welcome back to Language, Litigation, and Integration Part 21, Demanding Equality. Hope you enjoyed the last episode. That was rather professional, but I'm being serious. Just a little more on the Kosiski interaction, and then we'll just be talking about more stuff in law, just different concepts. I didn't really have a plan for this one. But just a couple things for the record. Kosiski told me that fraud was not a felony, or he literally said fraud was not a felony. So this guy's incompetent. You can't, and police intimidation in general for interrogation. Should cops be allowed to bend the truth at all in practice? Right now, do they do it? Yes. Should they be able to legally, in law, in principle? Absolutely, quintessentially no. The police force in our society has deteriorated to truly like the lowest, scummiest thing ever. People can think I'm eccentric, it's just true. When you have really insecure people, they don't develop. When they have privilege and entitlement, they don't develop. And so this Kosiski guy, when he's calling, like, he can't, I'm assuming if you watched this, you've checked out something that I've written, but he keeps calling me angry. Like when you scare a spook or a goof, they have to transfer the responsibility. They physically and emotionally can't, because they never develop their emotions. So I just want to emphasize in this, I said I'm demanding equality. Here's lose your job, here's go to jail, here's literally almost die. For your own choices, here's being an actual scapegoat. Like I said, I have just been this St. Francis de Sales community, my own family, Columbus, Ohio, Ohio State University, literally all of academia has truly just destroyed my life. And it's illegal, it's criminal, but the cops are too incompetent to do anything. A polymath experiences less community than murderers, cult leaders, and terrorists. And I have PTSD, quotations, I do not have PTSD. Past emotions and upper bound intelligence jumps are larger than the lower bound. If someone has an IQ of 40, they can't tie their shoes or function properly. And 40 days and 40 nights. Jesus went into the desert for 40 days and for 40 nights. Because of the highest bounds of mathematical derivation, like I said, I've been doing mathematics as a proven fact in people's inboxes for over 1,000 days. And so, how many people like children, young children, not in a weird way, like kids? How many adults like to be around children all of the time? 100% of hands went down. When you're really smart, you're actually it's like being around kids all day. So when Jesus Christ goes into the desert for 40 days and for 40 nights, it's to finish up a math proof, and he can't tolerate the speciality, the uncomfortable insecurity bullshit of other people. That is demonstrably what occurred. And I've demonstrably been doing mathematics for orders of magnitude more than this. But for the PTSD past emotions, right? If you're in a car crash, or you're in a car and the side door opens up unexpectedly or accidentally, and you have your newborn baby in a chair right next to you, and as you slowly start seeing the baby's crib or car seat leak out of the car, you're going to feel a sense of panic. And so when for this Kosiski guy, I have literally told every single cop organization I've dealt with, if you do not have a summons, do not contact me. Because when they send me, when he calls me angry and delusional, it literally makes me not be able to eat food again. I'm talking literally stress, then I can't eat food. And I said I don't have PTSD. The traumatic stress just hasn't stopped happening yet. And so for legal points, like I said, if you guys can't publish my paper, if you could just destroy your own laws, at the very least, just stop harassing me. And they can't do so. So I sent a message to their Captain Williams. I'm demanding everyone that's referenced in this series go to jail. You can keep your money. You'll be sued as well, but you can't afford my lawsuits. And if Captain Williams does not make better internal changes, he will also be criminally prosecuted. And so for the experiences, less community than murderers, cult leaders, and terrorists. People like Charles Manson, or I was just watching American Greed Scoundrels. It's the 25th of January 2021. They had some cult leader on there. They still have women, like 3 women, like competing to do his laundry and to spend 30 minutes with him. If you're an actual crackpot, you would actually attract people. If you're an actual polymath, you push people away because of their own insecurities. And so, the other thing I wanted to talk about with the Kosinski guy, it gives a great example of, he genuinely thinks I'm an idiot, and again at this point it's true failure of duty, and we have a great genuine example of intelligence jumps. In 5 minutes I could explain to him it is what it is the basis of mathematics, but they don't see the implications, and then he calls me angry. Again, have not put my head down and slept and felt comfortable in my body as a human being to the making of this video. I've just been used to it. I'm on planet Earth and there was 0 human beings that I can call to just have a respectful interaction or to have them execute their obligated legal duties. And there's really nothing I can do. There's nowhere I can go, there's no one I can call. And so the level of stress that you feel, man, it is literally unprecedented. So I'm demanding equality. Like I said, you guys are going to be sued, you are going to go to jail. But past that, I really want you people to be shunned at the society level. I had to sell drugs for 5 years because I went to school to do math. To this minute of this day, I'm still getting mocked by cops. So I'll talk more about that behind closed doors, but we're demanding equality. So now we're just going to talk a little bit about mob life, discipline. We already talked about 40 days and 40 nights. But I think mob life, again, I'm not a mobster. I follow a couple former mobsters on YouTube. But just a couple mechanisms of their way of life. La Cosa Nostra has just interesting implications for human behavior. So let's talk about that. So for the interaction with Bill Kosinski and just people in general, particularly the cops, but there's always this, well, there would be more or less the response is, well, there would be a bigger response, Brad, if you actually solved science. Can you fake a mathematical proof? Can you form a good-wrong argument? I want you to try. Try to say something completely stupid and incorrect. You can't do it. So like, for intelligence jumps, when people say, well, there would be a bigger response, they're literally demonstrating illiteracy. They're demonstrating a complete, total, if you never prove something in mathematics, you can still understand the process of mathematical discovery. And so I'm being 100% serious for those intelligence jumps, man, and I've literally told them in writing, do not contact me if there is something, if I'm a clear and present danger, arrest me. And we've covered that in this lecture series. But for like the practical, historical, and biological statement, this dude could actually just watch a 7-minute math clip and see how silly I sound. Like I said, if you can even talk about theoretical physics or number theory to any level at all, you're going to be able to be a university lecturer. Or to be a university lecturer, you might have to prove something. Probably not, actually. I just don't know the numbers on that. But, and so when you call somebody and say, well, first of all, for the motivation, after can you make a bad argument, did I ever wake up and say, oh, I'm just going to start contacting people? No. Like, I had a physical realization. In the same way you go into the gym and you're trying to bench press 225, you're really trying, you can't get it one week, can't get it the next week. The third week you go in there and you can literally feel you're about to get it. And then you bench press the weight and it's a physical fact now. That happened mentally. But again, no competence for the cops. But it doesn't even equal Brad is delusional. Like I said, in the 25 minutes I talked to the guy, I can start walking him through all of the logical responses. And then he starts going, And so people go into denial and then they literally demonstrate everything that you've put onto a lecture series, simply that is on the internet. And the net result is I can't eat food today, January 25th, 2021. this is going to age very, very well. So on LinkedIn, I have called for political asylum. I am not kidding in any way. No one will take me seriously. No one will help me. So you guys, like I said, demanding equality. I've seen an ode to the uncorrelated thinker. False. All thinking is correlated. But like I said, I don't want respect. I'm an actual scapegoat. I'm fine living that life. People who have treated me like shit will not be respected as good human beings because of their own actions. Like I said, me existing doesn't affect you behaving. And this is what actually happens. And I just wanted to cover that. I've gotten that a bunch of why wouldn't there be a bigger response. And it's just like so many levels of complete incompetence and illiteracy that you really actually can't respond because you can't convince a pathetic person of anything. Once an illiterate person with no humility has made up their mind, there's nothing you can say or you can do. Again, $500,000 in contractual offer, and this guy he has to punch me in the stomach. Well, Brad, you're so angry. And I'm not angry. I have literally been neglected my whole life. And so I'm not sad. I don't say that like, oh, I want sympathy. I don't accept sympathy. I want the stimulus of the trauma to stop. And again, 40 days and 40 nights in the fucking desert. I am surrounded by people who are genuinely biologically older than me and mentally and emotionally 700, 800 IQ points less. And I don't say that as a random number, right? 40 to 100, can't tie your shoes. 100 to 200, can't do mathematical research. 200 to 1,000 can make a lifetime of statements saying, hey, I can educate myself, hey, I can learn, and then demonstrating it, and then a bunch of pathetic people saying, ooh. Like I said, these are physical reactions. But that's about all I wanted to say for the cops and the law there. Again, you guys are so far on the wrong side of history. Time will tell. Something will change. Once Americans or humanity can respect their own laws, well, we'll see who's the real criminal, Bill. But La Cosa Nostra, literally our thing. But like the way they interact in terms of introductions. No one's going to, as a primitive respect thing, I just think it's really interesting, like the conciliaires, or I think that's what the word is, conciliaires. But just introduction, whereas when people won't acknowledge their affiliation without a proper introduction. And now ask yourself, when does a mob guy learn how to be respectful? Or when does a mob guy have to sit down and think about or learn about disrespect? Do they have to read a book about being disrespected? No, it's a physical, empirical reaction. So I made the reference in this lecture series that disrespect is a physical response. When mob guys are sitting there telling stories like, well, what'd you mean by that? What'd you mean by that? It's them physically realizing disrespect and saying, give me a reason to whack you shit, bitch. And so, like I said, man, how did Building 9 or Building 7 fall down in 9/11? And then, our acceptance of murder, right? If you go watch the interviews of John Gotti in the 90s, it's like a comedy show to these people. Not the mob guys, just the general populace. And so, like, these are all your middle-aged people right now watching murder mysteries. It's still kind of interesting to them. So, like I said, murder is a punishable crime. Fuck you. If you kill me, die off. 100%. But just assessing the biology and psychology of it. Well, mob guys, they're all on the same. Whereas in most civilians have never even been kind of around violence. All of the mob guys have killed people. So to see the straight talk up here, if you can't see, but right, I'd say the general populace, or at least the general intrigue, is like there's some big genuine difference about a murderer in terms of like a mob criminal versus just like someone breaking into your house and defending your family versus being a soldier in war. And the answer is there isn't. And so from a species level, people need to be aware of that. It's the ultimate bet of disrespect. That's what murder is. And so, but there's frankly, I don't call murderers not normal, like psychologically. I think that is complete narrative of thinking you need to be some crazy different type of person to kill somebody else. Again, not endorsing murder in any way, not being lenient on murder in any way, but it's very interesting, and like I said, it's very straightforward. So that's what I just thought was interesting about Cosa Nostra. The future of math in my research. Like I said, as long as I'm being harassed, frankly, I don't give a shit. Like it doesn't slow me down. The thing it really does do is the trauma, the stimulus. Bam, I cannot eat food. Bam, I cannot sleep at night. But I am not going to be emailing you guys. These are every time I email you, that is a genuine logical jump. That is a genuine part of the proof. Like I said, my lecture series are complete logically, not linguistically. But I'm done emailing you guys. I'll still do my videos because I don't give a fuck. Bill Kosiski or 1,000 cops annoy me. I'm still going to move science forward. But I have no respect for our species and our society for real as fuck. I'm not, like I said, I'm not serving our species. I'm just really fucking smart and I can get things done. Past that, the level of disrespect I've experienced, like I said, in intelligence jumps, I'm not going to go assault somebody for any sort of scapegoating mentality or scapegoating mechanism. But like I said, my life has been beyond destroyed. Like I said, past emotions. None of these things are sad or lonely. It is, someone disrespects me, I can't put food into my stomach. I can't put food into my mouth, chew and swallow. Facts. And so the level of disrespect at the species levels at this point is not acknowledging me up until now has 100% slowed down societal progression in my own research. And now we're going to do that again. So to the future generations and to the ancestors, just to the future generations, thank your parents. People in 2100, thank your great-parent or your grandparents and your great-grandparents for truly slowing down science 2 different independent times in their life simply because of their own personal insecurities. So like I said, I'm demanding equality. For MSRI and for anybody else I've been contacting in the past 2 years, the only thing I want is a publication date or a way to not feel this disgusting and not be able to pay my bills and to do mathematics 10 hours a day and not get paid anything. It's just so bonkers. It's genuinely slowing down our species still to this minute, to this day. So to the future generations, absolutely thank your parents, your grandparents, and your great-grandparents for literally slowing down science. When you go on St. Jude and see kids begging for money, thank Bill Kosiski. Think of Bill Kosiski. Think of Leroy Harris. Think of Cassandra Schaefer. Think of Samantha Gross. Think of Lucy Kahn or Hahn. Because I am, like I said, once you're a scapegoat, like I have no desire to be back a part of the society. I want a wife, and past that, I do not, there's nothing of your guys' research, nothing of your books, nothing of your music that is that interesting to me. And additionally, I will not be doing any sort of public, this is brand new, any sort of public music, science talk, interview, anything in at least 10 years. So if you wanted to make it another 10, 20 years and keep slowing down science, well, the future generations are going to thank you. Thank you for watching Language, Litigation, and Integration Part 21, Demanding Equality. Where is my money?